Are you looking to sell your home and want some tips? Then this episode of Real Estate Today is for you. Joining me is Patti Berens from the Coldwell Banker Realty office in Colorado Springs. Hi, Patti.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Well, great. Let's get right to it. So the first tip is look at your homes with a critical eye and don't get too hung up on your personal attachment. Why is that important?
Hi, Rick. So many of us have become personally attached to our house. We've raised our children there. We've lived there for a while. It's our home. But remember, when you're putting it up on the market, you have to step back and detach yourself from it because you want buyers to see it as their home. So the easiest way to look at your house is put on a buyer's hat if needed and look at it with buyer's eyes. Take down your personal pictures. Put away those items that reflect your family, your life. Let the buyers imagine those things on the walls. Let the buyers see themselves in the house. And if they don't like something, don't take offense to it because that's okay. We want them to make it their home so they'll make the right offer and buy your house.
So if you love that pink bedroom, but they make comments that they don't take it personally.
Do not take it personally.
Makes the whole process a lot easier, I assume.
It does.
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
Now just a generic asset. It's no longer your home. It's just a house.
It'll help you with the process as you go through the sale too, because as you remain emotionally attached, it's going to become harder for you to get down to the wire and actually sell that house.
So the second one is kind of interesting. It's called video security in Colorado law. I don't get it. What does that mean?
This is really important. Most of us have video recorders, audio recorders in our homes nowadays. And Colorado, that can actually result in civil or criminal liability if you have them on during showings. Colorado law has a one-party rule that means that as long as you're in the house and party to the conversation, yes, you can record. But recording a conversation between a buyer and a buyer's agent in your home without their knowledge is not covered under Colorado law. So what I recommend for my sellers, if they are willing, that they actually turn off that audio recording. Many people don't want to do that. So it's as easy as putting up some kind of a notice in your home. I offer to my sellers. Sorry, guys. Just a simple poster says, welcome, this is equipped with video surveillance. They've been notified that the video surveillance may be on, and they can talk if they want. I wouldn't advise it if I was a buyer's agent, but if they want to talk about how much they love your house, as long as they have been notified that there's video recording, you should be fine.
And my understanding, and I know you're not an attorney, does that apply to the Ring doorbells too? So if they happen to, it does. Okay. So even if it's picked up on those comments that they make about your house.
Yes. So really, some kind of notice, just like the poster that I just held up, should be on the front door. It should also be listed in the MLS.
Well, that's great advice. So the third tip is small investments for big returns. Tell me about that.
This kind of goes back to number one, that pink bedroom you were talking about, that has the bright pink wall in it. For me, when one of my daughters was in high school, it was a purple wall because that was her college or her high school colors. Purple, pink. They might have been great for that room at that time, but buyers aren't going to like it, and it could put them off. Paint it. It doesn't cost very much money for 1 gallon of paint to cover some walls, and paint neutral colors. Grays are really in right now, creams. white trim, or not even match the trim to the wall colors. That allows, again, the buyer to see themselves in that room, and now they can envision an orange wall if that's what they want.
Yeah. And I imagine those deferred items, like maybe the plating on the front door handle, if you don't take care of that, that can also impact how a buyer sees your home.
Yes, peeling paint, it's huge for VA, FHA buyers. Dirty carpet. Even just hiring somebody to clean the carpet is huge. Especially in the market that we've seen over this past summer, buyers are paying a premium price, and they know that. The last thing they want to come into is look at a house that's got stains on the carpet. It doesn't cost a lot of money to clean a carpet or fix the holes or pull that carpet out and replace it with laminate. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, but it will make a huge difference in the sales price. Coldwell Banker has a great program that I've used with many of my sellers. It's called Real Vitalize, and it will help provide the finances to do some of these upgrades, fix routine maintenance without you having to pay out of pocket.
Okay.
And then the money is paid at closing back to Real Vitalize. I've used it on more than one occasion for my sellers. They've used it to replace carpet, do just total cleanup, professional housekeeping, and it's resulted in thousands and thousands and thousands more over asking, actually, just because they replaced the carpet or did paint.
That's a good tip. And the fourth tip is disclose, disclose, disclose. Why would you bother? It's a really hot market right now.
I have a fellow agent in my office who coined the phrase, seller's market does not mean stupid buyer. And I love it. If you're in doubt, disclose. Up to about 3 years ago, when we started to see our market start to increase, and then it really became hot this summer, we started to see more post-sale mitigation and lawsuits, because sellers didn't disclose to buyers things they knew that was wrong with the property, or buyers felt that items hadn't been disclosed. Our seller's property disclosure is also very easy to misread, and if you just leave it blank, buyers feel like you're hiding things. If you're in doubt, disclose.
Okay.
If you don't want to buy the house, that's okay. There's somebody else out there that will, even though they know what you've disclosed. But to hide something is just open yourself up to litigation post-sale, and it's just not worth the time or the trouble. And quite honestly, if you don't disclose it and it comes up prior to the sale and the sale falls through, all you've wasted is time on the market instead of getting your house under contract and sold.
That's a really good point. And the last one is FSBO, or for sale by owner, in a seller's market. What's the disadvantage of that? It seems like if it's going to sell this weekend, why would you need to have a real estate agent?
It's a really good question. I actually sold my house before I became a real estate agent, and I didn't use a real estate agent to sell the house. I was smart enough to hire an agent to do the paperwork. There's a lot of law involved with selling real estate, and to make sure you're following the law in a sale, number one, you don't want to hold yourself to that liability post-sale. I've just mentioned before that this seller's market has led to more post-sale mediation and litigation than anything for several years in the past. If you hire an agent, they're covered by errors and omission. They have a responsibility to you as a client to do it legally. So they're carrying the bulk of that liability. They can recommend and should be recommending, they're not attorneys, like you mentioned before, if attorneys need to be involved and to review these contracts. But most importantly, I believe that in retrospect, that I probably left a lot of money on that table just because I didn't hire a real estate agent. I sold to a friend. We made a great deal at the time. I have no regrets, but I also know that that hiring a real estate agent, putting some money into my home, making those minor changes that wouldn't have cost a whole lot of money, would have made me several $1,000s more over the offer or the negotiation that I negotiated as an owner. And finally, as a for sale by owner, you're actually opening your home up to people who aren't necessarily approved for loans. They haven't been screened. And do you really want to open your house and your children, your families up to the possibility of having a burglar just using a for sale by owner to come in and scope out your house?
That's a good point.
And we can laugh about that, but it actually happened several years ago here in Colorado Springs. A real estate agent is truly worth their weight in gold if you have a good one.
Well, those are great tips. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, are these some of the best ways to get a hold of you at this point?
Yes, that is my cell phone number and my email.
Well, I assume they could also get a competitive market analysis from you if they're looking to find out how much their home's worth.
Yes, and I don't charge for those.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Patti.
All right. Well, thank you.
For more real estate news, go to retoday.com.